new and more credible and more detailed information for that. Example, a fire starts at 4 o'clock. You can go on air and say, hey, there's a fire. It started at 4 o'clock. Call it a day. But to prepare for that, you can go even deeper. You can say, a fire started at 4 o'clock. It's only 10% contained. It has already burned 20 acres. Of those 20 acres, what's in danger right now is an elementary school. That elementary school has been evacuated because of the fire and smoke inhalation. They evacuated that school using school buses and taking them to a gymnasium at a nearby school a quarter mile away, which the fire is nowhere near or even could potentially spread that direction. So it's making all of those different things part of your story, not because you're exaggerating or anything like that. It's because that's the reality of the firefighters that are on the ground. So you have to communicate with people, number one. You can't assume certain things. You have to go and ask those specific and tailored questions. If I just go up to a firefighter and stick a microphone in their face and just say, hey, what's happening? They're going to be like, here's what's happening.
Right.
You have to engage a little bit more than that. And that's where the art of the question comes in. It's understanding and kind of knowing that person's job, as opposed to, hey, feed me.
Right.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work that way. Yeah.
Yeah. It can work that way, but it doesn't give you any credibility as a journalist and a fact checker and somebody who's a storyteller. So for right now, for our newscast, that's one thing that we'll look at. We'll look at the big stories that are happening locally and see how we can contribute new information for our viewers. Because I can't go on TV and tell you 2 + 2 is 4. You already know that.
Right.
You have to articulate and contextualize it. So that's one thing that we do. We look at what's big local, what's happening that people may not know about, and put it in context, and then put together all the rest of the other, news. I mean, it's the new information of things that are happening or things that aren't happening. So that's kind of how we do that. So a lot of it is accessing different sources that we already use, like the Associated Press, CBS News, our local journalists that we work with and that are part of our news team, and then our Texas-based affiliates like KXAN, our CBS affiliate in Austin, KI, and pretty much it's just calling everybody and being like, hey, what's happening?
Right. Yeah.
That's kind of how you start. You start the grocery list of the meal of what's on the menu for your newscast. So that's kind of how you got to go by it. You got to figure out what you're cooking. So.
Right. Do you have someone that's coaching you on your voice along your journey, I guess, your career so far? Have you had someone who has coached you in your voice?
Not particularly. So that's actually something that somebody said. A friend of mine who's in news was like, look, man, the worst thing you can do is be an actor in news. You're not an actor. You're a journalist. You're there to tell the truth. So why lie about who you are? If you sound like this, talk like this. If you sound like that, talk like that. Your voice will change over time from either wear and tear. Like I was actually just listening to a report of mine from 3 years ago as part of an investigative piece I'm doing today, that's airing today. And I was listening to my voice from 3 years ago and I'm like, man, my voice sounds like a lot deeper today.
Yeah.
But it's because of just wear and tear on my voice naturally.
Right. Yeah, because you have a really nice voice. That's why I was
Thanks,
asking,
I appreciate
like, you're welcome.
Yeah.
No, because like some people have said that, like they have someone who coaches them on their voice, like, don't say this, say it. Kind of like if you're saying a word, don't like emphasize it too much or something, like someone guiding you.
Right. I mean, you can start to develop certain speech patterns, but that also comes from how you like to enunciate certain words, like something in my
Right.
scripts, like in the teleprompter that whenever, because everything that I put my face on, I wrote for the most part. I do work with a producer who comes in pretty early.
Hmm.
He does a great job with a lot of things, but he doesn't write it in my voice sometimes. So I got to come in and kind of texture that up. So one of the best things that I could always tell, like somebody who's just starting their career, is write how you talk in words that you know your audience can understand. Um, it goes back to the whole cop talk thing I was talking about earlier, or the firefighter talk.
Right. Yeah.
The blaze started at the 100 block of Sally Martin Avenue. It's like, no, the fire started at 2 o'clock, right as kids were getting out of school. It's just up the street from Hudson Elementary, where parents were waiting in line to pick up their kids. You know, you just kind of got to write like that. Your speech patterns will change over time. Something I put in the teleprompter is words that I know I want to bold or pause on. I put them in bold, or I put them in italics if it's like a
Hmm.
direct quote, because I know that that's not me saying that. That's a quote from somebody else. So
Exactly.
it kind of does help you when you're reading that.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, you kind of just got to be yourself. If you can't be yourself on TV, it's it's not it's not the career. I think it's more so like you just not feeling comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
And that comes with time. I look back at videos of myself from 5 years ago, and I'm like, oof, I'm a very different person now. But it comes in time. It comes in
Yeah.
time, and you can't beat
Yeah. Yeah.
yourself up over that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I love what you said. You have to be yourself.
Yeah.
What is one of your hot takes? I guess it could be about anything, like a certain topic, a book, a movie, a TV show,
Well,
anything.
uh, I think that more people should just kind of follow their dreams. Um, like, who's stopping you?
You're right. Yeah.
Like, nobody's stopping you but yourself. I mean, if your dreams are something like terrible, like, oh, I want to be something nefarious, probably don't do that.
Yeah.
But if it's something that you can, be proud of, why not go do that? I mean, if there's a little bit of risk in there, all you're risking is your time, because that's the only thing that we can't get more of. I mean, we can try, we can make certain life changes, but at the end of the day, we all have the same amount of time every single day. We don't have the same money, we don't have the same resources, but we all have the same amount of time. And you just got to apply yourself to whatever you want to. And I think that that's just something that I think more people need to take into consideration, is you're never going to get what you want if you're not willing to invest yourself in it. Like, why spend 10 hours a day at your job, 8 hours a day at your job, but only spend 1 hour a week on your hobby, your goal that you want to do all the time? Flip that. I mean, you might not get paid the same, but if you want to make money doing that, you gotta have a paradigm shift. And that paradigm shift comes in you just investing in yourself. So that's
Yeah.
my hot take.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Oh, and
Um,
more people should go vegan, but that's a whole nother
Go
thing.
vegan. Oh yeah, you're vegan. That's right.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I've seen your
Straight edge,
posts. I've
straight
seen
edge
your
vegan.
posts on
I
social media, on Instagram.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
I like to think I live my life to make my mom as proud as possible.
Yeah.
To where I eat my vegetables and I take my vitamins and I don't smoke and I don't drink. So
That's good.
just,
That's good.
just trying to make
2 thumbs
trying to
up.
make try to make mom happy as possible. So there's that.
Gotta keep mom happy.
Yeah, that's for sure. So
What are some hobbies that you have that you do in your spare time? Or like
um
some things that you like to do in your spare time?
yeah, so it's really just spending as much time with my pets. I Because of the shift that I'm on, I come in at 3:30 in the morning.
Hmm.
And like right now it's 4:26 and I'm still here at work.
Yeah.
Um, my work schedule doesn't really lend itself to very much of a social life, but I love what I do so much that I'm not upset when I'm here.
Hmm.
I'm not, I'm not, I'm not counting the hours on the clock to say, God, I can't wait to get out of here. I might
Right.
say that some days because I'm having a bad day or I'm just tired,
Yeah.
but
I mean, we have
I,
those days, right? We're human.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, but I have like my, this, I made my hobby like my career.
Yeah.
Something I truly love to do is my career. And that's why I think it's so, when you see like those people that have been in news for 20, 30 years, it's because they'd never, why leave something you love?
Exactly.
I mean, there's really, I mean, you'll hear about stories about people who were like, oh, they were a teacher for 50 years.
Hmm.
It's because they love teaching. They love helping people. They love molding young minds. And it's the same thing here. Like I love being a storyteller and I love working with good people. So why ever leave that? So
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So how many pets do you have? You
I have
mentioned your
three.
pets. You have three?
Yeah, I have a dog and two cats. I have an
Oh,
indoor cat and an outdoor cat. The outdoor cat is probably, I'm not gonna say my favorite, but he's the one I get along with the most. Yeah,
that's
he's
cute.
very much, yeah, he's very cool.
That's cute. What advice would you give to people interested in getting into the journalism field?
Oh yeah, just go for it. News stations need passionate people. Um, and the best thing about news is that all it takes is knowing how to ask the right questions. Now, from being a journalist, that's a totally different thing. That's what that is. There's other technical stuff like camera operators, being in, you know, the technical field, being in meteorology. All those things take different skills. But to be a journalist, everyone's a journalist. It's
Right.
just how you are one is a different story. I mean, all we're doing is just exercising our First Amendment right every single day, our First Amendment right to free speech. And what we do is so important that you have to apply yourself to it. So for somebody just wanting to get in and get a start of it, go to your local paper and say, hey, how can I start working for you? That probably is going to help you out more in the long run than
Hmm.
going to school, spending thousands of dollars of it, because you can always work your way up. School kind of gets you a much faster foot in the door. But at the end of the day, a newsroom really, really just needs passionate people, people who are willing to work, people who are willing to learn, people who are willing to like take direction, because that's what you will need to do the first day you walk in that door. So
Right.
just start asking questions. That is the name of the game.
Right. So start
Yeah.
asking questions, being passionate, and just going for it, right?
Yep.
What have been some of your best and worst moments on camera
Ooh.
or on air,
Best.
since you were in radio as well?
Yeah. So best moments is when I catch people in a lie. One of my best moments was when I caught somebody in a lie on live TV, like in a live stream. And
Really?
I was really pressuring them on it. And then they finally like, well, you know, you got me. And it's like, you shouldn't have had to have done that in the first place. You know, I'm honest with
Yeah.
you. You should have been honest with me in the first place. None of this would happen. Worst moments was when I caused a car accident.
Is that what you posted the other
Yeah, that's
day
what I
on
posted.
your
Yeah, that's what I
story?
posted the other day. That
Oh
was
my
my
goodness.
that was probably like my first month on the job.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I was out reporting in front of a police department, and I guess somebody thought like something had happened, and I was just, you know, I was just shooting a stand up. I was just
yeah.
like basically just me talking in front of the camera, and boom, 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 three cars just crashed. Like, I mean, it was nothing
It was
serious,
but it was
but
three cars. I thought it was only two cars, or at
no,
least that's what I just saw.
it was three cars. Like one person slowed
Whoa.
down. Well, it's like one person slowed down, and then that guy was looking at me. He crashed, and then the same thing. The guy behind him was like, all of them were looking at me,
Oh,
and then just pop, pop, pop.
yeah.
So yeah, that was probably like one of the worst things. That was pretty
Yeah.
terrible. Yeah. So
But what can you do, right? I mean,
yeah, I
people
was gonna
should
say
be
I didn't
paying
do it.
attention to like the road, not, but you know.
Eyes on the road. Eyes
Yeah,
on the road. So
exactly.
not my fault. Kinda.
Yeah.
I don't take blame for it, but
No.
I know I was there. So it is
Oh,
what
well.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Well, thanks,
Yeah.
Derick.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Keep me in the loop whenever this publishes, and I will let my friends know and be like, hey, go check it out. Go do interviews with her. She's awesome.
All right.
So yeah. All right.
Yes,
I
please.
appreciate it. All
Would
right,
you
we'll
like
be
to
in touch,
share
okay?
your social media account handles?
Yeah, of course.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you can follow me on Facebook at Derick Garcia TV. That's DerrickGarcia TV. That's on Facebook. And I just started a work TikTok. It's Derick on TV. Same way, Derick.
Okay, cool.
So
Thanks, Derick.
absolutely. Thank you so much. All right, we'll be in touch.
All right.
Okay,
Bye.
I'll talk to you later.
You've been listening to The Santana Show with Naomi Santana. Interesting guests and insight with good conversation. You can follow Naomi on Twitter at Naomi Santana 45 and The Santana Show at The Santana Show _. Please subscribe to The Santana Show on YouTube. Thank you for listening. Join Naomi again next time on The Santana Show.